Hello fellow boaters, today's going to be a quick tip about something we can do before leaving the docks that will lead towards a safer and hopefully better boating experience. Check it out. So I put together a little book and it's just laminated pages. It's going to cover some things for people that come out and fish with us or go boating with us that may or may not have experience or may not know exactly how we like to do things. See, as boaters, all of you know that we're all kind of particular in the way we do things. All of us do things a little bit different, it seems like. And so catching our guests or our fellow fishermen up to speed can be a good thing that will help you as a captain not have to think about it or worry about it once you're out on the water. So in this book, what would I put in there? Well, the very first thing I talk about is safety. I believe that one page should be dedicated to safety items on board. Well, the tip I have for you is if you go to your manufacturer's website, go to the boat manufacturer that you have, go onto their website and look up the specifications of the particular model boat you have. And in a lot of those, what you're going to find is a basic outline and design of that boat. But I just took a screenshot of the boat model from the manufacturer's website, and then I went through on PowerPoint and I just added where the safety features are. Obviously we've got the anchor, but where's the rope? Well, the rope is in the storage right below there. Or where are the fire extinguishers? Well, I've had a lot of people say, oh, I didn't know there was a fire extinguisher right down here by my feet. I saw the one out back, but I didn't know there was another one here. So that's a good thing. Guys, you should have knives. You should have knives on board. Now, some of you are going to watch this and say, well, Joel, I'm not a fisherman, I'm a boater. You need to have knives on your boat. And if you're wondering why, if you ever wrap a rope that's out floating around or a crab pot or whatever it is, if you ever wrap a rope around the prop of your motor, then you're going to see why you should have had a knife out there. But we can go through and we can just highlight where these are. You might have a throwable device, but guess what? A lot of times when people have a throwable device on their boat, they don't already have it connected to a rope. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you plan on using your throwable device, you want to have a rope attached so you get more than one attempt at throwing it. How about this one? What to do while leaving the dock. So if you're captain of the boat, you may have guests that have been out there with you and know exactly how you want things done. But if somebody's new with you, they need to know, do you want the fenders brought in before you leave the dock or on your way out just past it? So they're not unhooking them too soon or making you get out of your rhythm. That's stuff that they can go on here and see. See, some of this stuff is really simple. And some of this stuff sounds like I'm somewhat stating the obvious. But not everybody knows how exactly somebody else wants it done on their boat. So you should highlight it for them. One other thing I found with this is a lot of times people will say something, it's just a little thing that sticks out to them, such as, like I said, the fire extinguisher, or such as, oh, I didn't realize you have fenders on both sides of your boat when it's docked. Little things like that are what they can say, oh, okay, did I pick that up? I've got a page for coming in. You've been out on the water, you've been fishing, now it's time to come back in. What do we want? I want you to have a push or a pull stick ready. I want fenders on both sides of my boat. Little things like that somebody can just go down a checklist and just say, okay, is everything done? Because you might be working on one thing while other people are either standing around. And for those people that are standing, you guys, clean, clean, clean. As a boat owner, you know that when you take somebody out fishing and they volunteer to help at the end of the day, kind of clean up before you get out of there, it holds a pretty good value and they're much more likely to get invited back out. But at times you got to tell them that's what you want them to do. I have a whole list of phone numbers. Now, some of you might say, well, every phone number you could ever need is on your phone. Just get on your phone and Google it. Well, sometimes you're out on the water. Do you really want to play around with that when it's all right here? What did I put on here? The marina's phone number. So any marina that I'm close to, even if it's not the one I'm using, but if I'm close to it and I've got any kind of situation happening, I want to be able to call them. And so we've got those listed. Obvious, I've got the Coast Guard phone number. See, everybody thinks that if you have something you need to talk to the Coast Guard about, you get on the VHF radio. You can do that, but don't forget, Coast Guard also has a landline. So you could call them if that's something you don't want to put over the radio, or if it's just more effective for you personally to call and talk to somebody like that without waiting for the breaks and things like that. Make sure you have the Coast Guard phone number on here. I have local restaurants. What if I want to go pick up some food when we're done? Call it in. I have the fuel dock phone number on there. If I'm leaving early and I want to see if anybody's there yet, great. Or coming in at the end of the day, hey, is anybody still there? Give them a call. I have the bait truck phone number. I have the Fish and Game phone number on there. If you ever have any questions or need something brought up, you can look up their number, or you could just have it already waiting for you. Tide charts. I believe you should always have tide charts. A lot of fish finders now have the tide charts built in. You can get the little tide books. I actually just like to print off the tide chart for the month, put it in here, and so I just always have a kind of a backup. And also on this, I typically write who's going to be fishing with me that day. So I'm not a guide. I think some of you that have watched my videos and know this, I'm not a professional guide or a commercial fisherman or anything, just a guy that likes fishing, and I like things being organized when I'm out there. I'm gonna put what you need to Google to find this, but what this is, if you're making a radio distress call or something to the Coast Guard, things are breaking up a little bit or whatever, and you've got to repeat it, you want to be on the same page they are. A is Alpha, B is Bravo, C is Charlie, D is Delta, E is Echo, list goes on and so on and so forth. But if you don't know what all those are, again, you can throw this right on your dash and go from there. I like to have some of the basics of fishing. If I have somebody, a guest out with me that's not as active fisherman as some of us, you know, let's show them some of the knots we're going to be tying, so they can tie some of their own and save us time from doing it. But show them some of the knots, show them some of the techniques. I've got in here how to hook up live bait, or how to tie on a herring for trolling, things like that. Just show them some of the techniques. And this is also a lot of fun when you have guests that come out that are fishing with you and they've never done what you're taking them out to do. On the boat ride out, they can have something to look at and get excited about. So it's pretty cool. In the back, we're going to have a couple of safety features, and one of them is a little sticker that you get when you buy a VHF radio. If you don't still have that sticker, a lot of times any event, boating event or anything that the Coast Guard's at, a lot of times they'll have them and just give them to you. If not, get online and print this. It's the steps of making a distress call on your VHF radio. So a lot of people think, okay, if I'm in trouble or if I'm panicked or, you know, whatever's going on, I call in a mayday and just take it from there. There's a lot of things the Coast Guard is going to want to know about your vessel, about your boat, what situation is happening, how many people are on board, do you have enough life jackets, things like that. You can make in your first initial call, which is going to put things into motion a lot faster and a lot cleaner. A lot of people will see the steps and try to memorize it, but trust me when I say it's actually kind of a lot to digest if you were in panic or if your adrenaline was going. So I actually did a video about crossing the Columbia River Bar. It's the biggest, most in-depth video that I've ever done about boating or fishing. Some of you may have seen it. It's here on YouTube. It's a 90-minute video, and I'll actually post a link at the end of this one to that if you want to see that. But I actually go out there and I make a full distress call over the VHF radio, covering the details that the Coast Guard asks us to. And so if you watch that, it's on there, or you could print one of these cards. Last but not least, I have a little wind chart. So there's a chart, I believe it's called a Beaufort chart. And the Beaufort chart basically says what to expect the conditions to be with the different wind variables. Example, if you were going out there and you heard over your radio that its winds are at 14 knots, you can say, okay, what's 14 knots? Well, 14 knots is going to be increasingly larger small waves with some white caps and light foam on top of the water. There's for 14 knots. So it just kind of helps, just gives current conditions. And again, you as a captain or you as a regular fisherman or woman, you might already know this stuff, but some of the people you take fishing might not. So this gives them something pretty cool to study, pretty cool to review, and that's our quick tip of the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are liking these videos. Making these videos, there's quite a bit that goes into it. So a lot of you that have followed my videos know that I'm not a professional at video editing. I actually did it for the very first time when I bought this boat. I did a little review on the boat, and I watched that old video, and it's hard to watch, but a lot of people told me they sure appreciated it and liked it. And I thought that was really cool. And truth be told, I have fun making these. I'm getting a little bit better at the editing, slowly but surely. I want to keep making some. There's kind of a lot that goes into it, and you know, YouTube's a very tough platform to get a lot of eyes on your videos, so to speak. You know, I made a dozen or so videos, worked really hard on them, especially the Columbia River Bar video. And you know, I don't have a lot of people that watch my videos, but if you are a regular here and enjoying these videos, I'm really glad to hear that, or really grateful for it. So if you have any ideas on some videos you'd like to see, let me know. Drop a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Everybody have a great time out there on the water. Be safe, have fun, and I hope you got something out of today. Peace.